Hey, my name is Gelly, and I'm very excited to show you the speedrun for Manifold Garden, a game that came out October 11th, 2019, definitely after the cutoff point for the original submissions. So this is a second wave submission for AGDQ 2020. The category I will be running is any percent, and the estimate is 14 minutes, which is maybe a little generous, but I feel like it's important that I have all of that room. Because otherwise, if I cut it down to 13 minutes and I go 13, something like that, we don't want to be going over. So 14 minutes is what I'm going with. This is a first-person puzzle game in 3D, which relies on non-Euclidean nature and gravity bending and a bunch of other cool stuff. So let's just hop into it. So time starts when I enter a save here. So 3, 2, 1, go. And like I explained, this is Manifold Garden. As you can see, one of the main mechanics behind it is being able to flip gravity. This is important not only for a casual perspective, because flipping gravity allows you to solve all of these puzzles, but it also is important from a speedrunning perspective because I'm optimizing basically as much as I can do of falling instead of sprinting, because falling at terminal velocity is about 5 times faster than sprinting. So the more that I can do of that, the better. I don't know this section too well because I'm doing marathon chase strats, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. Maybe 2 seconds times lost there. So now that I finished up this tutorial, we're going to do the first wall clip of the game. So normally you're only supposed to grab the 1 cube there, but I'm actually going to grab a second one. So what I just did there was a wall clip. By standing just slightly away from a wall and dropping a cube at your feet, the collision pushes you through the wall and you can leave. Depending on the collision that you're getting pushed through, you can bring the cube with you in certain instances. It's not always consistent, but it's like 95%. So yeah, we need both of these cubes for skipping basically 90% of the game here. So yeah, normally you're not supposed to be bringing a cube through this section here, but screw it. Who cares about intentions? Let's skip some stuff. So normally what you're supposed to be doing in this section is unlocking the blue God Cube, which is done by unlocking a series of lasers and yada yada yada. We can skip that by grabbing 2 cubes here. And actually we only need 1 strictly, but we're going to use the second one to skip another 5 God Cubes. So this is called flating. Not flailing, but flating. It's an acronym for Flailing Like an Idiot Technology. Oh, there we go, got it, cool. So in instances where you're not falling directly after you're doing a wall clip, bringing a cube through a wall is a lot harder. But I managed to find, I don't know, maybe a week or 2 ago, that if you just, if you flail like an idiot, you can bring the cube with you. Which is very important. So now we're going to bring this second cube to assist us on this journey. So normally, as I've said, this portal is only unlocked after having the God Cube. But sod that, we can just bring the cube through here, flate it, and then tow the line to bring this portal through. Oh, and cool. We have the first cube with us. So I just skipped 1 God Cube, and the cube that I'm currently holding is going to be used to skip another 5. For you see, this is the hub, also known as 44. And this contains the exits to all 6 of the God Cube worlds, and then the entrance to the final set of trials, the 800 worlds. And this door is only unlocked after having all of the God Cubes, but as you can see there, it wasn't too difficult to get through by just clipping into the floor. So now we're in the 800 series of trials. This is assuming that you know pretty much all of the sort of mechanics that are associated with the game, your ability to do puzzles and so on and so forth. So this is every sort of non-intuitive puzzle, very complicated. For example, I just used the tree there as collision, which is normally not something that you do in other parts of the game, and so on and so forth. So this is the, let's say, the interesting part of the game, the lead up to the very ending before the game deems that you're worthy in order to beat it, right? But that's the last time we do a puzzle intended for a very long time. I will point out when things start becoming intended again, because as I've mentioned, wall clips are a lot faster. This puzzle is actually really slick, and for a long time we didn't know the solution to this one. But instead of doing the intended and sort of fun solution, we can just inflate the cube with us. Where are we? Oh, I never fully clipped. My bad. Are we in? It is hard to tell sometimes. There we go, cool. So I was, let's say about a meter away from certain doom and demise. Oh wait, I'm not doing a submission. Let's say a foot. I was a foot away from certain demise because there's actually a very tough soft lock there, and it would be really embarrassing if I had to pull out the console and toggle no clip. So there's a fun fact for you. But yeah, don't worry about soft locks being a problem. You can complete any run that you want to by toggling no clip. So even though some of this stuff is more inconsistent, I wanted to avoid the most inconsistent strat because it would be terribly embarrassing to attempt the trick 20 seconds into the run, fail it, and then toggle no clip and try again. Maybe that's just me though. Alright, cool. So again, we're just wall clipping through a bunch of stuff. As you can see, I'm doing my best to optimize my ability to fall here. Pretty much every world has been mapped out pretty effectively. That's a lot of help from shoutouts to RBD Jellyfish and Preshing, who did a lot of the small movement optimization back in the very early days when the game was only a week old, you know. Alright, so we're on our last wall clip puzzle here. You can see there's we'll call it a Tetris piece. That's probably the best way to call it. There's Tetris pieces in this game, and they are affected by two directions of gravity. They are absolutely massive, and they are important for, in this case, in this next puzzle which we're coming up to, for being able to harbor water onto it. So this is the intended puzzle that greatly slows down the game. It's a real pain. So, for example, instead of falling through here, I have to eventually manipulate the gravity to get that to fall anyway, so we're just falling, we're just having the gravity manipulated in the right sort of direction from the get-go. Unfortunately, this also means that everything is just a lot slower, even though I'm, for example, attempting to interlace the ability to solve the puzzle with manipulating this piece to come down. There's only so much that you can do before you have to like wait for it. So if we could find a way to skip this puzzle, that'd be great. Unfortunately, somehow my man William Cheer managed to make it nearly impossible to clip using all of our known methods. So we have to do this partially intended. I mean, there's small things like that where you're able to use the water to keep that Tetris piece in place and you can fall, but like other than that, most of the optimizations are just, you know, harbored around an intended solution. So if we could find a way to skip that or at least ease the pain of it, that would easily bring us into sub 10 territory for any percent. But that may never happen. That might happen in 2 days. We'll never know. This puzzle is also intended, but I have a little bit to talk about with this in terms of being able to skip some of it. So normally in any percent runs, we can save about 10 seconds by saving and loading once we have the puzzle solved. Because once you have the puzzle solved, you have to wait for a bunch of lasers to fire and get you know, activated and stuff like that, and they have these really long animations. But the game doesn't save the progress of those animations, it just saves whether or not you've finished the puzzle, and so it just skips all of that. However, for whatever reason, if you save and load in this section, it corrupts the one beautiful cutscene in this game. So I'm going to not do that. We're just going to wait, look at the scenery of that. This is the Dark Seed, which we plant in a corrupted tree down there to flower the mandala, or the flower. And this is the only one that we get to see in the run, so I think it's terribly important that we lose 10 seconds in order to see this properly. But maybe that's just me. Let me know if being fast is the only way to be. Oop, shnikes. Alright, so this is a 30-second long cutscene, so sit back and enjoy while I hold the E button. This is the best part of the game. I'm not gonna lie. This like truly, there are 7 of these that you normally get to witness in a standard playthrough. We only get to see 1, so you have to enjoy this as much as you can in a run. And it's also a nice break, but it's 30 seconds long. So if we could find a way to skip this as well, that would also bring us to within striking distance of sub 10. At the moment, my sub best is realistically like 10:05. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I'm going to have a real hard time, me personally, finding a way past that. And I would say the same for many other people who'd be looking to run it. So sub 10 is really the ultimate goal of any percent. I wouldn't be surprised if like a year or 2 in the future we have like a 6:59 or something stupid like that. But for like the time being, in this first month of the game or so, seeing a sub 10 would be amazing. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I have a 10:30 in this game at all. I worked really hard to get that 10:30, even though it's relatively suboptimal. I worked pretty hard for it, so seeing a sub 10 would be amazing. So there's the 2 tricks, the 2 intended puzzles that are really stopping us from doing that. So this is the ending part of the game, surprisingly. We're here. This is it. This is the bridge where you walk off finally and fall forever into this wonderful fractaline landscape. And normally what you do is you fall off the set of stairs, which you can sort of see at the end there. But we can save 7 seconds at the very end. Shoutouts to Zizzyman. By just taking a sharp corner and falling off here. So time is, I don't know, in about 30 seconds-ish, yeah. So this is where I would throw in as many shoutouts as I can get away with. Like, sorry, I didn't have this part planned. But yeah, time is, I'm gonna see the ending cutscene. Yeah, there it is. And about 3 seconds later, a very sharp sound. Time. 11:09. That's pretty good, considering marathon safe strats and I wasn't that great. I'm actually kind of proud of this, not gonna lie. So yeah, we're just gonna watch the ending cutscene and talk for a little bit. This game came out a month ago, but we've seen the demos for this since like 2014, 2015-ish. So this game is sort of similar to the Museum of Simulation and Superliminal, where they've been demos for a long time and then they all came out like a week ago. It's crazy. I've been looking forward to playing this game for a long time. I wasn't genuinely expecting to ever speedrun it because it seems very artsy, but as you can see, the movement is awesome in this game. And that's why I want to be able to show it off at GDQ, because I want other people to see how awesome it is too. And also to break the game, but you know, we always do need more glitch hunters, but that's not the big part. The big part is getting other people to see sort of the wonder of this from both a casual perspective and a speedrun perspective. So we'll wait through this whole fractal. You can end now if you want to, but I think this is the best part of the game, is the run being done and being able to see this, you know. Oh, for reference, if your computers aren't NASA supercomputers, this thing chugs. I think even on my, yeah, we're running at about 25 FPS. My computer has a 7700K. It's not overclocked, but it's still like a decent CPU. And a 1060 and a 960. So you better have a couple of 2080 supers in whatever computer's streaming this. I don't have anything more to say. I just like this ending a lot. I should specify. You don't have to watch this for GDQ, because this isn't like the speedrun part of it. This is terribly pretty. And if you could like chunk out a section of time, like, because this ending cutscene's like 5 minutes long, if you could say the estimate was like 19 instead of 14, I would greatly appreciate it, but I don't think I could genuinely be able to say that these 5 minutes mattered that much for a speedrun. But I do think they're awesome. So you don't have to show this in GDQ, especially if you guys are short on time. I don't expect you guys to be waiting for a 5-minute cutscene to be inserted because we don't have enough to do at GDQ, you know. Alright, I might as well wrap this up because we're almost done with the fractal now. Thank you very much for watching my submission. Thank you very much for accepting me for Real Mist Masterpiece Edition. I take a lot of pride in us having a mist block for the first time in a very long time, and there's quite a few people excited about that. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm a small-time speedrunner sort of guy. I play the indie games that no one else seems to appreciate quite as much. So being able to put that out there, especially for charity, thank y'all. I appreciate it. So yeah. That's the game. I hope you liked it. Yeah, no, thank you very much for your time. And I await to see whatever sort of conclusion that you come to. I think my availability is correct for my GDQ, so no problems there. But yeah, you know what, let's just cut this. So again, awesome. Thank you very much. And I hope to see y'all in January.